Hello, this is Banu Küçük. Today we'll be talking about past continuous tense. We usually use it to talk about actions that were in progress at a specific time in the past. We also use it in conjunction with the past simple when talking about interruptions. Now, look at the example. I was watching TV when the phone rang. What do you usually do late at night? I always go to bed at 11 p.m. So, last night at 11:30 I was sleeping. Let's make negative sentences. I wasn't watching TV at 3 p.m. I was working. She wasn't driving car at 7 a.m. She was sleeping. We weren't reading a book yesterday evening. We were watching a film. They weren't playing tennis yesterday at 11. Question forms. Now we are going to do yes or no questions. Then questions with what, where, which. Now look at the examples. Were you doing your homework last night? Yes, I was doing my homework last night. Was she reading a book yesterday? No, she wasn't reading a book yesterday. What were you doing last week? I was studying my exams. Where was Jake going yesterday? He was going to the cinema. Now, we were going to read the sentences and try to see how the verbs are formed and used. Now, let's look at the examples, please. Yesterday, Lisa and John played tennis. They began at 10 and finished at 11:30. So, at 11, they were playing tennis. Were playing is the past continuous. They were playing. They were in the middle of playing. They hadn't finished yet. Now look at past continuous and past simple. When we use these two sentences together, it shows us that the past simple action happened in the middle of the past continuous action while it was in progress. Let's look at the example. While I was studying, my mother called me. We often use these sentences to show an action interrupting another action. Now look at another example. Linda broke her leg when she was skiing. We were going to the cinema when you called me. Can you see differences in the meaning of these two sentences? Now look at the two examples. The first one. When the guests arrived, Danny was cooking dinner. The second one. When the guests arrived, Danny cooked the dinner. Let's think. In the first one, Danny started cooking before the guests arrived. We know that because it uses the past continuous tense. Now look at the second sentence. The guests arrived first, then Jane started cooking. I think it's clear now. Now we are going to look at the usage of past continuous to describe parallel actions. Let's look at the example. While I was washing the dishes, I heard a loud noise. To describe what someone was doing at a particular point in time. Look at the example. My brothers were cooking in the garden all day yesterday. To express interrupted action in the past. Mary was driving to the concert when she crashed her car. To describe repetition and irritation. They were always complaining in class. Now we are going to read a detective story. Are you ready? Let's start. Yesterday night, somebody broke into our neighbor's house. He stole everything he found. They saw him while he was running away, but they couldn't catch him. This morning, an inspector came and asked some questions. The inspector asked Mr. Hanks some questions. Now, let's listen. The inspector. What were you doing when the thief broke into the house? Mr. Hanks. I was listening to music with my wife. Then I went to the kitchen to prepare the coffee. The inspector. How many minutes did you spend in the kitchen? Mr. Hanks. I think 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not sure. The inspector. Did you only prepare the coffee? Mr. Hanks. Yes. The inspector. Okay, thanks. Now, let's look at the possible questions. Did Mr. Hanks see the thief? Let's think about it. 2. What was Mr. Hanks doing when the thief broke into the house? Question 3. Was Mr. Hanks with his wife when the thief broke into the house? Question 4. What was Mr. Hanks doing in the kitchen? Question 5. Did Mr. Hanks really prepare the coffee? Let's think and answer it. Let's look at a new story and answer the questions. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Yesterday, I was playing video games in my room when I heard people screaming. I went out and saw. My neighbor's house was on fire. In less than 10 minutes, the fireman arrived and fought against the fire for an hour until they made it. Wow! They are really brave. One of them entered the house and saved Linda's dog that was trapped in the fire. I made a decision. I want to be a fireman when I grow up. I'll be strong and brave enough to fight against the fire to save people's lives. Now we are going to answer the questions about the story. The first one. What was the boy doing when the neighbor's house caught fire? What was he doing? Let's look at the text, and he was playing video games. 2. Did he want to be a fireman before that? Let's think. No, he didn't. 3. Why did he decide to be a fireman in the future? Because he wants to be strong and brave enough to fight against the fire to save people's lives. That's right. 4. Did the firefighter save the dog's life? It is the easiest one. Yes, they did. Thank you for watching us. See you next time. Bye.